Hey, what's up, guys? This week's been pretty interesting. Lots of developments. Computer has stabilized at least a little bit. I'm still going to be getting it looked at. Having some random problems, random little hiccups in games. I think at this point it's just the cooling system needs to be reseated. The thermal paste needs to be redone. I'm looking to do that sometime in the first, if not second week of January. It depends on a lot of things. I don't drive, so obviously you can imagine I can't exactly carry my computer on the bus and take it to the PC shop and vice versa. It's going to have to be quite an arranged event, but it looks like it's going to be happening pretty soon. I'll be posting my link in the description for the next couple days. Probably, if not to fund the PC, probably just for the next projects. I do have some other shit I have to pay for. I have to pay for a convention. I had to pay for the badge and the train ticket, respectively, and I have to do that in the next 5 months. So, but in any case, today I wanted to talk about the supposed death of Japanese games. As a lot of the genres that I play are made best in Japan. Character action games, obviously. Shmups. There have been some non-Japanese shmups that have come out recently, like Danmaku Unlimited 2 and Astroped, which is made by some good friends of mine. But a lot of those games just don't really. They don't do too well. They don't. They're not made too well outside of Japan, and people have been being naysayers about the Japanese development scene for a couple years now. Ever since the mobile overlords took over, and people are obsessed with shitty filler puzzle games and with no substance and tons of microtransactions. But I don't know. I have to admit, it's been a pretty big fear for me. A lot of the stuff that I play, is just the people outside of Japan just don't have any experience making them. Uh, It's a pretty scary thing to think about. I've been gaming since the 80s. I'm 28 years old. Uh, Obviously, anybody in that age bracket that was born in the late 80s to early 90s, if you were a gamer when you were a kid, I guarantee you probably like no less than 80% of what you played back then was made in Japan. It was a lot harder to be a American or European only gamer at that time, unless you played games on PC. Back then, there were no Japanese game PC ports like there are now. You got a lot of imitations of varying quality. There was some good stuff like Jazz Jackrabbit was like Sonic with guns. I have a much fonder place in my heart for Jazz Jackrabbit than Sonic because I did not grow up with the Genesis. To play Sonic and Streets of Rage and all the big, Sega-only titles, I had to go to a friend's house. There was stuff like Tyrion, which was definitely still one of my favorite Western shmups of all time. The customization in that game still hasn't really been beaten from what I've seen. You had almost total control over what you rolled with on your ship, your loadout. But a lot of the other stuff was really bad imitations, like, Sega and Nintendo, couldn't even be bothered to bat an eye towards the PC market back then. It was a very small market. It's been a fear for me, but I think things will continue. I know the Xbox is doing terribly there. Apparently one of their head like PR guys or director or whatever like left the company, or they like moved him to another branch. It was that bad. Apparently they're selling like only a couple thousand units a month compared to the PS4, which is selling exponentially more. I think it's a pretty big deal, but I think the games will continue. Even if Japan is not the main market, like I said, they pretty much have just bent over and accepted all the garbage that the mobile developers put out, all their dumb shovelware, that's just designed to just squeeze as much money out of the consumer as possible, which is a shame because there are some good mobile games out there. The Cave Shmups were really good ports. If you could get past the fact that there was no controller, those were really accurate ports, and those were the only thing that I would want a smart device for, but they went out of business, so you can bet you're not going to see any mobile game videos on here. But I have to admit, I'm sure you've noticed, I've been embracing indie games a lot over the past couple years, especially since I got partnered. I know people don't like that. They like, they want me to do the big, I guess you could call them AA games, because Japanese games don't really operate on the huge budgets that Western games do these days. That's the only reason why they're still around. But I have kind of been preparing myself for the fallout, so to speak. In the event that more Japanese studios shut down, or they stop developing things as often, I would like to have a backup. That's why I've been embracing the indie scene a lot over the past couple years, and those games have gotten a lot better. I mean, there are still tens, if not hundreds of shitty indie games coming out all the time that are just not worth mentioning, or they don't really hold a candle to the real thing. But I've seen stuff just in the past year alone. There's been Guacamelee, Strider 2014. It's not really an indie game, but it was developed by a smaller team. Those guys did a great job. There hadn't been a Strider game for 15 years. They did a pretty good job of maintaining the spirit of that franchise without having any of the original staff around, as far as I know. Other stuff like 20XX, Super House of Dead Ninjas, those are some of my favorite games in the past couple years, and I wanted to make sure that I had something to focus on this channel, even if Japan kind of dries up for a while. Obviously, Muso games are still going to be around. I think the games that are going to be from Japan that still stick around throughout the whole mobile apocalypse are the ones that have a large audience outside of their country. Right now, the way things are, they pretty much don't make games for their own market anymore. Like, they make them so that they're localized and sold elsewhere. Bayonetta 1 is a pretty good example. That game had really high sales for a new IP with no real influence going into it to make people want to buy it. Obviously, Hideki Kamiya being behind it is a big deal for people like me who actually, know a little bit about the people who make the great games. But in terms of casual, just, people buying the game on impulse, it sold pretty well. So I think things like Dynasty Warriors will stick around. The random shmups will still stick around. Fighting games, obviously, Street Fighter is a huge, worldwide phenomenon, even over 25 years after it came out. Even if, the people in Japan kind of lose interest, they're into the more air dashers and stuff, it's still going to be around. But in any case, I just thought this would be a nice little informational video. I've returned to Muso games as promised. I've put out some other stuff. Computer problems have been stabilizing a little bit. I just wanted to make this because it's a very kind of difficult topic for me to talk about because, I am an older gamer. Once you're in your late 20s, you're considered one of the older gamers these days. I see kids. I go to the park to exercise, and I see kids like no older than 10 with copies of Call of Duty. So, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to explain why indie games have been not really taking over the channel, but they've been gaining more presence on here. The main reason for that is I'm just preparing myself for what's going on right now. The new gen consoles don't have much of anything from Japan just yet. Only a couple months ago, they started announcing a lot of the megatons. Like I know Bloodborne. I know a lot of the Dark Souls fans are excited for that. The new Ys, Senran Kagura, Street Fighter V. The new Persona game, they're just now starting to talk about all that stuff. So I figured in the meantime, while they get that stuff together, while I decide to, when I'm going to get a console, whether I decide to get it funded or not, why not do some indie games which provide similar gameplay? And I don't know, I just like to diversify things a little bit. But rest assured, I will be playing Muso a lot in the near future. You're going to have to put up with a couple more weeks of this low-key stuff. Like I said, I have to coordinate a ride to the computer shop and back. They said they're going to hold it for at least a day. So I hope to get that done soon. The paycheck and the donations and stuff should cover that. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for putting up with what's going on. I have been playing Muso games a lot lately. I was at the laundromat yesterday. and I was playing Orochi 3 Ultimate on my Vita. So I think the break was it was a good thing. You know, sometimes if you just play the same franchise over and over, I mentioned this in my Typecast video. You just kind of lock yourself into that franchise, and you get sick and tired of it. Whereas what I've been doing is I've been diversifying things, and now that I had that little extended break, I'm ready to go back into those games. It's just as soon as we get that null element mod in, I'm going to be going to town on DW8XL. But no developments on that at the moment, so I'll keep you posted. In any case, I will be posting my link in the description for the next couple days, probably at the most. And hopefully, by the time you see this, I should be getting close to being able to coordinate getting the computer to the shop and fixing what's wrong. Like I said, ever since I updated Flash, it has not turned off on me, but that doesn't really mean anything. I have been playing lower key stuff. But I've been recording DW8XL over the past couple days, and it hasn't fussed at all. So I don't know what it is, but regardless, I'm going to get it fixed so that the CPU temperatures are down, and I'll be pretty much fully ready for the DW8XL mod whenever if it comes out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.